Hello, and welcome to this hangout. You know, it's exciting. We're linking up Europe and the United States. This is BHIP Global. We're joined by Andraž and his team, Be Free Revolution. They're coming at us from Celje, Slovenia in Europe, building a huge organization, multi-country organization, bunch of fantastic young guys. I'm calling from Ljubljana, Slovenia. We've got Curtis Broom, a Black Diamond with BHIP Global, calling in from Dallas, Texas. He and his partner are absolutely killing it. Curtis Broom and Lisa Grossman. In fact, over their careers, their organizations have done more than $1 billion, so multi-billion-dollar producers, multi-million-dollar earners, industry-recognized trainers, and so we're really, really thrilled to have this call linked up the way it is. So, Curtis, I'm just going to turn it over to you, brother, and let you do what you do so well.
Awesome. And, JC, I know that we've got some young guys here who are going to be hanging out with us. And, Andraž, thanks for reaching out to me last week. Kudos. In fact, you know, JC and I talked about it. One of the most important things is to engage. And if you go back, JC, to where you and I started our careers, any of us who have had success, the reality is none of us were smart enough to figure it out on our own. All of us who have had success can point back to where we began and first got our career started to mentors and coaches that you know, we listen to. You know, my story is, and I appreciate you talked about we've had success, you know, over the course of the career. But when I started for my first 2 years, I failed miserably because I wouldn't listen to anybody. Had great leaders and coaches. I thought this network marketing stuff was, you know, it was something my grandmother did. It can't be tough. If she could do it, I could do it. I didn't listen to anybody, did it my way, and quite frankly, got my butt kicked. I was horrific at it. I could sponsor everybody because I approached it as a sales thing, and I came from a sales background, so I sold everybody. I closed them. I signed up tons of people. My teams never grew. I never made money of significance. I spent more than I made constantly. It was a fight. And, you know, not everybody should be a doctor. Not everybody should be a banker. Not everybody should be a truck driver. Not everybody should be a network marketer. I mean, that's the fact. Network marketing, it's not for everybody. I think the products are, because the products at BHIP are superior and can truly change people's lives. So the products are, you know, everybody loves them. But network marketing isn't necessarily something that is good for everybody. It's not the right plan or fit. And I tried to make it right for everybody by selling them, and it never stuck. And if I hadn't found a good mentor after 2 years when I was getting ready to quit the profession, because I didn't treat it like a profession, I didn't take it seriously, I didn't treat it professionally, if I hadn't found a good mentor, I never would be here. So for everybody watching this, when we talk about the success that we've had, JC and I will both agree that it's because of the expertise of people who were willing to teach us once we finally decided we would listen. Now, JC's probably smarter than me. He probably started listening a lot faster than I did. For me, it took 2 years before I started listening. The reason I respect, Andraž, what you and your young team here have done is you reached out. You know, you actually just hit me up on Facebook and said, hey, I don't know if you've got time. I don't know if you can, but in fact, JC and I laughed about it. I love the message you sent. So here's what I'd like to do. You know, you pick the time. We'll do anything. We'll sacrifice. We'll stay up 73 hours straight. We'll do whatever it takes. We'll crawl through glass. We'll, you know, whatever. You know, but on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not interested at all in helping us, or 10 being really interested, where are you? And I thought it was just hysterical to me. I told JC, we started laughing. I said, it's the first time I've been closed in a Facebook message on just having a phone call. So it's great to have you guys, Andraž, and all of you guys there. Appreciate it, because you're going to get to be part of this incubator group for BHIP Europe. So get ready to take notes. And what we're going to do is we're going to take you back to some, not just stuff that's network marketing, we're going to take you back to some really good, solid business principles and some business concepts. And then we're going to talk about what network marketing really is. And we're going to talk to you about a very simple process, a very simple first-step process that anybody in the world can do effectively. And I'm going to hit the whiteboard behind me, and we're going to jot a lot of this down. And so here's where I want to start with everybody. I want to step away from network marketing for just a second, and I want to step into just the world of business, because for some reason, network marketing, there seem to be terms that are used, sometimes not directly about network marketing, but we're talking about things and then we refer to it. For example, sometimes people say, well, in a traditional business, and when they say that, they must be saying a business that isn't network marketing. Well, the problem there is if you say that, you've just set the wrong expectation and understanding, because network marketing is a traditional business. Let me show you what I mean. Okay? There are some things about it that are non-traditional, but not nearly what most people would expect. Let me give you an example. In a traditional business, if you're going to say that, let's take Procter & Gamble, a huge global 500 or global 1,000, global 100 giant in the world, a gigantic multi-billion-dollar operation. They create massive amounts of consumer goods. Well, one of the things that Procter & Gamble might create would be laundry detergent, let's say. Okay? So if you look at the Procter & Gamble laundry detergent, like Tide, they're going to manufacture Tide's laundry soap. Okay? Well, the way it works as a traditional company is, first, they have to procure the product. Okay? So they manufacture the product. Now, that means that they take raw goods and materials, they manufacture into the finished laundry detergent, they put it in a box. That box is put into master cases, cases of 20 of those boxes, and then those cases are placed on pallets, and then those pallets are shrink wrapped, and then a big, large commercial transportation truck, big 18-wheel truck, picks up the pallets and takes them to a distribution warehouse where they're ready to be distributed out to the buyers and consumers. The second thing, so once product is procured, then the second step is they have to spend money on marketing, because they have to create what's called brand awareness. So they're trying to turn Tide into a brand name, a recognized name. So now they have to market. And so, normally that's through television, radio, newspaper, magazine, print ad, television advertising space, online marketing, whatever it is, they're trying to create brand awareness so that then they can hopefully go to the third stage, which is they finally create enough revenue that they have made enough profit, or create enough revenue that this is profitable. That's traditional business. Okay? Well, if you're saying that, then you're making the assumption that network marketing is not traditional. If you're saying in a traditional business, then you must be saying that network marketing is not. Well, let's take a look. Let's go to the largest in the network marketing space. Let's take a look at Amway. $12, $13 billion a year. Okay? Well, Amway happens to make laundry detergent, and they're large enough, they do their own manufacturing. Therefore, Amway is exactly like Procter & Gamble and Tide. They get raw materials, they make the laundry detergent, they put it in a box, they put that box in master cases, they put those master cases on a pallet, they shrink wrap the whole thing, they have a large truck come pick it up and take it to a distribution warehouse. To this point, Amway is exactly like Tide, like Procter & Gamble. Here's where it is not traditional. It's only not traditional for the company Amway. Amway gets to go straight to this, because the very next step is in network marketing. The company gets to create revenue, because the company, immediately upon producing the product, before the company markets, they sell it to their distributors. See, network marketing, believe it or not, is about marketing to your network. For Amway, they just sell the product to the distributor. The distributor does the marketing. And that's why Amway gets to make their money and profit in stage 2. So there's 3 stages to the business. But Amway gets to make their money in stage 2. And then when it is moved, then when the distributors move it, Amway gets to pay their marketing dollars last. That's called commission. Okay? So Amway only incurs the marketing expense after they've already created profit. Therefore, Amway is untraditional. But now what I want you to do is now I want you to become the distributor. This is a network marketing distributor. A distributor is in a traditional business. Why? Simple. The first step for a distributor, they have to procure product. Now, maybe it's only a couple of $100 or $1,000 or $1,200. Maybe it's a small amount of product. These companies are doing millions and millions and millions and tens of millions of dollars of product procurement on a, some cases, a monthly basis. So maybe it's a smaller amount, but they still have to follow the stage 1 of procuring product. Stage 2, if you're a distributor, you have to market, and that does cost money. Now, maybe it's not real money, meaning actual cash. Even if it's just walking next door to the apartment next door and talking to your next door neighbor, it takes time. Time is the most valuable asset in the world. Time is money, okay? In fact, let me do this real quick. I'm going to blue box. That would stay locked in. Okay. Time marketing is money because it is time, at the very least, for a distributor. So the distributor hopes that in stage 3, they will generate enough revenue that they have become profitable. If you take a look, the distributor model, it may be smaller in size, but it follows the exact same model of the giant business of the world. So you have to understand, if you choose to become a part of network marketing as a network marketing distributor, you are starting a traditional business. Maybe on a smaller scale, but your business is business, and you have to understand the principles of business, and you have to follow the principles of business, or you're destined probably for failure, because you can't fight against the law of gravity for very long. You know, the analogy I gave, so I'm going to show you one last part of the business discussion, and then we'll move into the concept that allows you to become successful very quickly. You know, one of the things that I mentioned to JC, in fact, here's something, you know, Andras, do this. I see you in the picture there. Take your, probably your right hand, and I'd like you to hold your arm right out horizontal at your shoulder. Just there you go. Just make it, okay. Now, if you ask me how long, here's the answer. Forever. Don't ever, ever, ever stop holding your arm out there. I don't care if you are the biggest, most powerful, literally the world's strongest man. At some point, you're going to fail. It may be hours, it may be days, but you're going to fail, and gravity is eventually going to cause you to collapse, and you're going to drop your arm. Okay, you put your arm down now. She can take notes. The point is, if you choose to fight against the law of gravity, at some point, you will fail. That's why it's better to understand the laws of business and be in alignment with them. So if we know that distributors are truly starting a traditional business, even if it's a small scale, it's a grandmother who wants to make a few $100s a month, it's still a business. It's a university student who's got some student loans or whatever. They're coming out, they realize the job market's not as great as it once was, and they need to supplement. It's still a business. There's someone who wants to change a career path. They're a career professional. It's not about making more money necessarily. They just hate their life. If they can make the same 100,000, 200,000 euro a year, but they can do it doing something they love, wow, that's a great change. Or someone who wants to make millions of euros a year because they're trying to change the whole financial destiny of their family, all of them, it's still a business. And there are 3 stages of business. Stage number 1, there is the initial expense investment to get a business started. Stage 2, every business must get to break even. If a business doesn't get to where it's breaking even, it's making enough revenue to cover all expenses, it's not sustainable, and it will go out of business and fail. And stage 3 is, then you need the business to go into profit. Nobody gets excited about starting a business to break even. Well, I just won't start the business and I'll still keep all my money and I'll be fine. But you have to get to break even so the business can be sustainable, and you need to get here as quickly as possible. If you can get to break even, then you have the time to be able to make sure you develop the strength of the business to move into profit long term, and in network marketing that means residual and forever. So I want you to keep that in mind. These are the principles of business. Network marketing is a traditional business for the distributor. It is no different than any other business you would start. And there are 3 stages. Stage number 1, initial expense. Stage number 2, break even. You got to get there fast. Stage number 3, go into profit for life. So if we keep those things in mind, now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some general principles of where we're going to go eventually. We're going to talk about some principles of where you're going to start. Lisa and I like to be able to talk about the fact that we want to be able to help people learn how to become instantly profitable in network marketing, and hopefully be able to do that within their first 7 to 10 days. They're able to do that because the key is you got to get them to stage 1, which is breaking even, which means in business you got your money back. You want to be able to do that as fast as possible. We like to see people do that within 24 to 72 hours. Now let me tell you where we're going, because the last part we're going to show you how to do that. We're going to show you how to get to break even And no matter where you start, if you start with, in fact, what we're going to call it is this. In BHIP, we're going to say that our mantra, our desire is to enroll and you go pro. That's what you do. Everybody is, whether you start on day one and actually purchase the professional package, that's the objective. Everybody's going to go pro. Within their first 30 days, possibly within their first week, but everybody's going to go pro. So let's just keep in mind, in BHIP, our objective is, if you start as a partner, great. You start as an executive, great. You start as a pro, that's wonderful, but everybody will move a pro pack immediately. We're going to show you how to do that in 24 to 72 hours, and you don't even have to actually talk to people until they're actually taking the product off their hands. But let me tell you why we want to do that. If everybody is in the enroll and go pro mentality, the most important thing that great leadership in network marketing understands is, let me do this. I've got a purple marker that's dying. Let me go, just, this is live, so hang on a second. Let me go grab a better color marker, a fresh one. Hang on a second. All right, gang, I'm back. I hope. Ooh, good. The blue one's fresh. Okay, I'm going to switch to the blue. If you look at the most successful, the top earning people in network marketing, the top earning professionals, there are two talents that they have. There are a lot of skills they have at the top, but there are two of the skills that you see the most often where they truly excel. First, number one, they are great at asking questions. And the reason they're great at asking questions is they are great at the art of conversation. They aren't necessarily the fanciest presenters, some of the old great presenters, the Zig Ziglars of the world, who have that, or Anthony Robbins. They've got that powerful personality and that unbelievable ability to communicate from the stage. That's not what I'm talking about. That's presentation. And yes, when you do the business meetings and you look at some of the people on the team, and JC as well, there are some great presenters. The people who give the presentation really well. They're experts at it. They're almost intimidating because you're like, wow, they are so good. That's not the skill or talent that made them successful. The skill or talent that all great top-tier performers and professionals in network marketing have is they're great at having a conversation. Maybe they'd never do a presentation in the front of the room, but they can sit down one-on-one with somebody at a restaurant or a coffee shop, and they're great at having real human conversation, where the conversation creates a connection. It creates a relationship. But the most powerful thing they do in conversation is during the conversation, the masters of this profession are great at asking questions. Not at telling information, not about telling people about the product, not telling people about the business, not telling people the comp plan, not telling people about anything. It's asking questions and engaging that person. And we'll show you why in a second. The second thing that they are great at doing, they are great storytellers. They are great at telling stories. Why? Stories create that emotional element. Stories, facts are facts. Presentation is for giving the facts. But creating connection and creating relationship is about having conversations where you ask questions and tell stories, because it's what people can relate to. A fact is something that is sometimes a hard concept. A story engages us. Let me tell you, I'm not a science doctor here. I can't tell you exactly how all the products work in fixed or fusion or in blue, but let me tell you about a guy named J.C. Scheidel. Let me tell you about somebody named Mary. Let me tell you about Maria, who had this circumstance. And when she started taking this product, here's what happened to her in her first month. She saw a boom, to boom, to boom, to boom, to boom. And during the second month, it happened this and this and this. And now 6 months later, because that's a story that captures imagination. Let me tell you what happened to me. When I first started doing this thing, X, whatever that is, then here's what happened to me at first, here's what happened to me second, and here's what's happened to me now, and it's an amazing experience. People relate to that. The most powerful thing that you can have for your success is your own story of success, because this is a personal experience for you, and it doesn't The magic of a personal story of success, you can never tell it wrong. How many times have you heard a great joke, you laughed real hard, 2 minutes later you went to tell somebody and you couldn't really remember it? It's because it wasn't your joke. It was someone else's joke they told you. Unless you listen to it long enough and you work at it hard enough, it's hard to tell that joke right the same way. But anything that happened to you, even if you don't tell the story well, you will always tell it right, and you'll never forget the story. It's yours. The most powerful thing we can do, if you know that long term you need to be great at asking questions and telling stories, well, let's get you your story as fast as possible. Because the faster we can get you your own personal success story, the faster you get to start practicing telling good stories. So with that in mind, let me share you why we want to get you those stories quickly. Long term, now this is, we aren't going to go through this in detail in this session. We're going to talk about where you start when you first enroll. But long term, if you want to create great success, you want to build a team. Team building is about finding other people who think like you, they see what you see, they believe what you believe, and they join you in your team to become a distributor with you. What people think when they first get started, it's interesting, and JC and I know this. Generally, when new people get started, they start asking, well, I need to learn can you tell me everything about the product? Can you tell me everything about the comp plan? I have to understand it perfectly. I need to understand every single thing in the comp plan. I need to understand every single aspect. I need to understand what the cycle things are. I need to understand the rank requirements. I need to understand this matching bonus thing. I need to understand everything. The reason, the truth is they don't. You see, what is the natural way that people learn? How do children learn to speak a language? They are just in the presence of people who speak the language. And at about 8, 10 months or a year, they pop out that first word, mama, dada, whatever it is. They then start, by the age of 5, they're rattling on, and you can never get them to shut up. And by the time we're adults, we're communicating in college and university level. How did that happen? We didn't teach a 1-year-old the entire language to sound like a college professor. It was the natural part of human nature. If you're present, you will learn. You just have to be present. See, here's what's happening. When people are asking, can you teach me all this? The question is, why do they think they need to know all that on day one? Why do they think when they're day one, they're a newborn baby in network marketing, why do they think they need to be a PhD? Because they think that their job when they go out and talk to people is to be interesting. Because they think that what we do is selling. We don't sell. We are not selling. My partner Lisa, and as I said, she'll be in future hangouts as we work with this group long term. She talks to people about this principle of selling. And those are big items. You need a professional, your fears and your concerns, understands how to handle objections and directs to a close to close the transaction. Selling is a very elite skill. That's why so few people are good at it. If everybody could do it, everybody would do it, because as a profession, sales is the highest paying general profession in the world. But very few, small, tiny percentage of people are actually ever good at it. Well, that's what's great about network marketing. We aren't dealing in cars and homes. We don't sell. Therefore, you don't have to be interesting. If you understand network marketing, the masters of network marketing are masters of conversation and asking questions. That's not about you. See, when you want to be interesting, you think it's about you. It's not about you. It's about them. It's about the people you're talking to. You don't want to be interesting. You need to be interested. And you need to be interested in them. You don't do a presentation, you have a conversation. And the conversation is about them. What is the favorite topic of every single human being on the planet, if we really get down to it? Themselves. They love to talk about themselves. The magic is if you understand this, that it's about being interested in having a conversation with someone else, by the time you are 16 or 18 years old, you are a perfectly trained professional in conversation. We've been doing it with our family. We've been doing it with our relatives. We've been doing it with our friends as we went up through school. By 18, we are professional conversationalists with people that we care about. How do you do it in network marketing? Care about them, and you will naturally be able to use the talent and skill that you have, which is having a conversation. And during the conversation, you ask 3 questions. Now, this is where we're going to go. I'll diagram it in the next section, but you have to understand where you're going so you understand why you're starting. What are the 3 questions that lead to success in network marketing? During a conversation, remember I said you want to find people who think like you think. You want to find people who want what you want. You want to find people who see what you see. Find people who believe what you believe. Well, why are you here? You're here because you wanted greater things in life. You're here because before you didn't have a plan, and with BHIP you have a plan. So here are the 3 questions, but they're not really questions. You don't just stand up and say, "Hi, JC, I'd like to ask you 3 questions." They're concepts. They're ideas. It's where it's what you want to learn in the conversation. Even though your conversation is about them, you're the one in control of the conversation. You have an objective. Your objective is during the conversation, you want to find out, are they happy? Do they have everything in life that they're looking for? Are they satisfied and content at this very second that they have received everything in life they could ever imagine? I didn't ask them if they wanted money. I asked them if they were happy. Multimillionaire, if you ask, do you want more money, they say, no, I'm pretty good there. But everyone wants more, even if it's just to be more significant. So long term, we're going to show you how to do this. The second question, or the second concept in conversation, since you already know, by the way, you know they don't have everything in life they want, even if they're wealthy. You're getting them to remember it. The second question is, do you have a plan that you know with certainty is going to get it all for you? Well, the reality is for most everybody, maybe 2 or 3% know they're following a plan. For most everybody, know that's why they're talking to you. If they had a plan that they were following, they wouldn't have time for this conversation with you. So you know you're getting them to remember it. And so the third question, would you like to see one? Would you like to see a plan? This is where we're going to go. But in order to get here, the most powerful way is when you start these conversations, if you already have a personal story of success, you are in a much stronger position to be successful if as you have these conversations, you already have a personal story. And here's what it comes down to. If you understand this, then it will all start to click. Network marketing is not about selling. It is not about convincing. It is about one thing. It is about giving other people a choice and letting them choose and not caring what they choose. It's not about manipulating them into choosing what you chose. It's giving people the opportunity to choose and leaving the choice to them. And those who choose the way you did, you go run with them. Those who don't choose the way you did, that's fine. They may come back and change their mind and choose later. There's a saying, in fact, my niece has posted on our wall recently, and this won't be exactly accurate, but here's the basic concept. Just because someone else has chosen a different road doesn't mean they are on the wrong road compared to you. You've just chosen this road, they've chosen that road. That's okay. That's their road, this is yours. You're looking for those who choose your road. That's the purpose of these questions and conversation. I want to get to where I can give somebody a choice. Yes or no, do you want to do this or that? It's up to you. Now, this is where we're going to go later, but I want you to understand these concepts. Now I'm going to show you exactly what we're going to have you do first, and then we're going to end this first session, and any questions you've got, you guys have been jotting down, we'll go through them, and then we're going to set you loose over the next 48 hours, 72 hours, with the actual real-life experiment of what we're going to do. Here is what we want you to understand. All those things that we talked about, having conversation, that's natural human behavior. Being interested in others, and just as you hope they're interested in you, that's a natural human behavior. Giving people a choice, it's an easy and simple thing to do. Selling, hard to do. Giving people a choice, easy thing to do. Understanding certain basic principles. When someone enrolls in a business, or in network marketing, we say that, well, they started a business in network marketing. The reality is they didn't start a business. If you were really going to start a business, a restaurant or a franchise, for example, and you're going to decide, is it Kentucky Fried Chicken, is it McDonald's, is it whatever it is it any kind of a business, you're going to evaluate it. You're going to sit there and say, you know, I'm tired of working for somebody else and making their dreams come true. I want my own dreams to come true. I'm going to start a business. Let me evaluate and investigate business. What does business entail? What are the aspects of it? What are the characteristics of it? Let's see, of all the possible franchises, what's this one and this one and this one? Let me contact them and have them send me all their performance statistics. Let me evaluate those performance statistics and the requirements. Let me look at the pros and cons of this one versus that one. And over a lengthy period of time, you finally come down and you make a business decision about what you're going to do. In network marketing, generally what happens is somebody you know, friend, relative, cousin, whatever, they call you up on a Saturday afternoon, you're sitting on the sofa watching a football match, and they suddenly come, you answer, and they're hysterical. While of Christmas, they got this thing. They went to this meeting on Thursday night, and this really, really articulate guy, this bald guy with glasses from America, who now lives in Europe, a guy named JC, he was drawing these circles on a board, and it's the most amazing thing. I'm going to get rich. They had a semi-psychotic break, whipped out their credit card. They bought this professional pack of stuff. They have no concept of what's going on. They have no idea what they're doing, and they just called you. Well, they're so excited, you get excited. So you get jumping off the sofa. You go running out to the afternoon training on that Saturday, and sure enough, that same JC guy draws circles, and he's so good, you get excited. You whip out your credit card, and you join too. Now two of you have no idea what you're doing. That wasn't a business decision. I just got caught up in it. But the reality is, I've already proven to you, when you start network marketing, you have started a business. So whether you made a business decision or not, you started a business. And there are three stages. One is the initial expense. Two is break even. When we ask most brand new people who get started, you know, I've asked leaders, I've asked a lot of people, what do you think is the #1 desire of a brand new person when they first enroll in network marketing? And most every time I have people say to me, they want to make money. And I said, well, that's an interesting answer, and I would agree. That is usually the first thing that everybody who is new in network marketing and doing it for the first time, that's usually the first thing they say out loud. That wasn't my question. My question is, what do you think is their #1 desire? Including the things they don't say out loud. Because here's the real truth, and if we all think back to our own personal experiences, we'll know that this is true. The #1 desire of most people when they get started for the very first time is they want to get their money back, because after they leave the exciting meeting and they're driving home and realize what they just did, nobody wants to feel stupid. And nobody wants to feel like they did something dumb. Nobody wants to feel like a failure. And they suddenly realize, oh my gosh, I have no idea if I can do this. I don't know anything about this. I have no idea what's even going on. I just hope I can get my money back so I don't. Well, why are they thinking that? Because first of all, it's not only a natural human behavior, it's the first step of business. If you've got an expense, you've got to get to break even. So I'm going to now show you how we're really going to, whoops, let me plug this back in. I'm going to show you how we're going to make this work, okay? Since we know that these are the actual desires, then we're going to address those desires and we're going to deal with them. Here is the timeline. This is when someone starts being prospected. In fact, actually, let me do this. I'm going to hop up again. So here's the long term. This is when someone starts being prospected. And here's where they accomplish this first task. And about right here, in the prospecting process, here's where they decide they are going to enroll. Okay? So this is where they've incurred that expense. But here's the thing. People actually think that people in network marketing, when they get started, that they spend money. They really don't. There's not an expense to get started in network marketing. Why? Let's say you started with the Pro Pack. It's really not an expense. All you did is you temporarily converted money into product. That's all you did. You took money, you converted it into product, whatever the product is. All you need to do, so you took money, you turned it into product. All you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take product and you're supposed to turn it back into money. See, that's how all business works. If you start a restaurant, you go out and you buy lots of ingredients to make the food. You don't stop there. People come in, you make the food, and you hand them the food, and they hand you money. You just converted the product back into money. Okay? So all it is there's a circle. You just have to do the whole circle. When you convert money into product, that's just half the circle. You just need to finish the rest of the circle and turn the product back into money. So in fact, network marketing doesn't cost anything to start. Because you just have to start by procuring your product. Okay? First stage of business. Procure product. So right here, when someone is enrolled, they just completed step one. They've got the initial expense of procuring the product. All they need to do is convert it back. That's what this stage is right here. Right here in between, this is simply the first step, which is securing product, converting product back into money. Here's the magic. We believe that should happen in 24 to 72 hours. We have had some people who have literally converted an entire Pro Pack in as little as 20 to 40 minutes. Within 20 to 40 minutes of an intense effort, a simple effort done the right way, they convert all of their money that became product back into money. So what I want to do is I want to share with you what we call our HOT system. And the HOT system is a technique that will literally allow you, from the comfort of a phone or your either to call or your phone to text, you can move all of your product. Now listen carefully. I did not say sell. We do not sell in network marketing. You don't sell the product. You move the product. I move the product from me to someone else, and they simply pay for it. And here's what it comes down to. Do you believe that BHIP has good quality products? If you don't, you should immediately quit and leave the business. You should never have been in the business. But if you think BHIP has great products at great price, you are not selling. You are giving, you're moving to someone a product that for the money that they pay back or they hand you, their value is beautiful. Your value is beautiful. It's a beautiful transaction because it's a product of great value, at a great value, and it's worthwhile. Here's the analogy that I'm going to give. You start a restaurant, and this is where your hot market. The question is, who is your hot market? Here's what I call the hot market. If you're driving on a dark road in Slovenia late at night, 3 a.m., and your car breaks down, so you've got a 3 a.m. breakdown out there in a dark road, but you've still got 1 or 2 bars of cell signal. When you look through your phone, what is every name in your phone that if you called them at that moment, because you have such a close relationship, in other words, they are a close relationship, and they're so close that at 3 a.m. you believe they would answer the phone, and if they find out that you need help, they will get up immediately, they'll throw on some clothes, they don't care if their hair looks ugly, and they're out the door in about 30 seconds to come pick you up to help you. They're going to help, and they're going to be there by 3:30 or 4. That's the hot market. It can be family, it can be relatives, it can be non-relatives and family, just close friends that are like brothers and sisters, or the people who are like your aunts and uncles that aren't actually the same bloodline. That's who it is. That's your hot market. These are the people. Why? Because if you need it or if you ask for it, they would give you help like that. Let me give you an example. You're going to start a restaurant in Ljubljana. I don't care. Pick anything. It's Italian, Greek. It's whatever restaurant you want to have. You've been preparing your restaurant now, getting it ready to open. Who have you told most naturally? Who are the first people you've been telling for the last 2 months your restaurant's opening this coming Friday night or next Friday night? Exactly. That group. Who had better be there on opening night when you open your restaurant? It better be that group. And by the way, are they going to get a free plate of spaghetti? No. And they're not even going to ask for free. Maybe you give them a special price, but they're not even going to ask. Why? Because they're there to support you. You're starting a business, and you know why you want them to be there? So when all the strangers come in, the strangers think you have the most popular Italian restaurant in all Ljubljana. That's why it happens that way naturally. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen. If your food is good, they will become a long-term customer of yours because your food created their loyalty. The quality of the product created their loyalty. You don't create loyalty. The quality of the product did. If your food's no good, guess what? They're still going to come on opening night. They're still going to pay for their meal. They're just never going to come back because your product quality didn't do that. See, that's the other challenge in marketing. The reason it's not selling, we say go get a customer. You can't get a customer. That's not our objective on the customers. We get consumers to try the product. All marketing does. Marketing does not sell. salespeople sell. Salespeople sell cars. Salespeople sell homes because those things need salespeople. Consumer products, there is no salesperson, there's just marketing. Think about anything in your house that you normally pick up at the store. You saw marketing, advertising, marketing. You saw marketing in newspapers or magazines, or you saw it on the store shelf, or a next door neighbor who is in a network marketing company talked to you about their product. They didn't sell it to you, they marketed it. Or a friend just told you, listen, I tried this new shampoo, it's amazing, or this new toothpaste, or this new whatever. And you went or you were just walking through the store and you saw the display and the pretty colors and the great logos caught your eye and you said, that looks interesting. That's called marketing. And you grabbed it, you paid for it, and you tried it. If you liked it, look around the house. How many things do you buy every time you go? Because the product experience made you the customer. But how many things have you looked at and tried, but the product experience, you're on and so it didn't make you a customer. So understand, none of us get customers. We aren't in the customer getting business. We're in the consumer trying business. We know that with our V8 products, if they try Blue, or they try Fix, or they try Fusion, or if they try Adra, we know if they try it, they will love it. Will all of them? No. But we know a good 80% of them are going to love it. The energy drink just gives you energy. The Adra just does what it does to your skin. The Fusion and Fix, they just work. So we aren't in the selling business. We're in the trying business, which means here's how you get all your money back, and here's how you go from stage 1, which is product procurement, to stage 2, which is break even, in 24 to 72 hours. Some people will do it in an hour, in 30 minutes. Here's the process. You go through your phone, you make out a list of your hot market. In fact, next session, we're going to talk about how you actually make your full list. We'll do that in the next session. How you make you enroll, the first thing you do is you make your complete list, and then you put an H next to the hot market. But right now, we're teaching this first part. So bottom line, through your phone, anybody who you think would show up at 3 a.m., here's what you do. You want to reach out to them. There's 2 ways to reach out. One is calling, and I'm going to give you an example of that with JC here in just a second. And the other is texting. And we're done. JC has the actual calling and texting scripts, and I'll send them to you. But here's the conversation. In fact, let's have it. JC, come off mute for a second. We're going to have a practice conversation. And Andras and you guys, I just want you to look at your watch, or look at a watch. And I want you to see how fast this is, because this is not a selling conversation. I am contacting JC because he is part of my close relationship hot market. I'm going to present JC a simple situation, and I'm going to give him a choice to help me or not. It is a natural human behavior. There is no training, no special classes, not a ton of practice. You can just start doing it. You'll be better on the 20th person you speak to than you will the first, but all of us could just do this. So, JC, let's pretend the phone just rang and you pick up the phone. What's the first thing you're going to say the minute you pick up the phone?
Hello.
Hey, exactly. Everybody says hello. Exactly. Hello. Hey, Uncle JC, this is your nephew Curtis. Listen, sorry to bother you, but do you have a couple of minutes?
I do.
Well, listen, I'm actually getting late myself. I'm actually headed to a meeting, so it's only going to take a couple of minutes because I'm kind of in a hurry. But Uncle JC, listen, I'd really like your help. I've just started a business, a home business, and I'd like your help. Now, listen, I'm not asking you to join it with me. You don't have to do that. I'm not even asking you to be a long-term customer of mine. But Uncle JC, here's what would help. Over the next 20 days, 30 days, I need about 8 to 10 trial consumers to try my product and give me feedback, evaluation and feedback, so I can be more successful as I do my marketing going forward. But it needs to be the real experience. What I mean is, I'd like you to buy the product one time. I'd like you to use it just like every consumer will. Use it for 30 days, and then give me your feedback, because I know that Uncle JC, you'll be truly honest in your feedback. That'll really help me. Now listen, at the end of 30 days, if you really like the product, I can actually set you up on what we call a preferred customer program, and you can get a discount on it for life. But I'm not asking you to do that. You decide if you want to do that. If you don't like it, you never have to do it again. But either way, your feedback's really going to help. Uncle JC, can I count on you to be one of my 8 to 10 trial consumers?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, listen, by the way, do you think Aunt Mary might want to try as well? Now, she doesn't have to. Just want to do is fine. But do you think Aunt Mary, well, let me do this. Let me tell you this. My product, it's an all-natural, healthy energy drink. Now, it's about $40 for a month's supply, whatever that is converted in local currency. It's about $40 for a month's supply, $45 for a month's supply for 30 of these, and it's amazing. And you'll love it. I mean, for the price and the value, it actually, it's all natural, and it's not just energy. It helps you have mental clarity and performance. I think you and Aunt Mary will love it, but do you think she'd like to try it too, or would just you like to try it first?
I think you can count on Aunt Mary as well.
Okay, great. Listen, Uncle JC, like I said, I've got to get to that meeting. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Do you mind if I call you later this evening and we can make the arrangements so I can get the product to you and then you can get me the check for it or whatever? Can I call you later this evening? We can do that?
Yeah, sure. Looking forward to it.
Great. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Okay, how long did that conversation take? About 2 minutes?
Yeah, not even. Not even.
Okay.
2 minutes, 15 seconds.
Now, here's the whole point. I didn't sell JC. He's a close relationship. Hey, good buddy JC, you know, brother JC, dad JC, grandpa JC, you know, cousin JC, uncle JC, whatever it is, he's a close relationship. I said, here's what I'm opening a restaurant on Friday night. I really need some help. Can I count on you to be there and be one of the guests? I'll make sure that, you know, you have a great plate of spaghetti. I'll even give you the family price. I didn't tell him it's going to be free. I didn't sell him. Very quickly I said, and let me write it down for you. Number one, I said, I'm starting a business, and I'd really like your help. It's very simple. Number two, starting a business like your help. I need 8 to 10 trial consumers who will give me feedback, because I need the feedback to be successful. Number three, I want you to buy it one time. I want you to try it, because that's what all marketing is. At the end, I want you to give me the feedback. If you like, I'll get you a preferred customer discount. If you don't, you never have to do it again. I'm giving you choice. I'm not pitching you, I'm selling you. Number four, can I count on you? Now let me tell you what just happened when I said, can I count on you? This is not a sales presentation. This is designed the most important. I don't care what you say in the middle, as long as you spit out the price and what it is that you want them to try it one time, and if they don't like it, they never have to do it again. If they do, you'll get. And you start with, I've started a business, I need your help. I don't need you to join it, I just need your feedback. The last thing is, can I count on you? Let me tell you what I just asked them. It has nothing to do with the product. It has nothing to do with the price. When I say, can I count on you, and I ask that question, the product is irrelevant. The price makes no difference. What I just said in that last sentence is, when you give me your answer, Uncle JC, you are saying, yes, I can count on you, or no, I can't count on you. That is a very, very powerful question. The price doesn't make any difference. We have people in some of the teams, like in the Israel BHIP teams, their product is $150 for the trial, the first month trial, and they move them like that. I don't care if you're selling paper cups or paper clips. The product doesn't make any difference. I'm calling a close relationship, saying I started a business, I need your help. I need 8 to 10 people to try this product, give me the feedback so I can succeed. If you like it, I'll get you a special price for life. If you don't, you never have to do it again. Here's what it costs, here's the amount you get. Can I count on you? It's fast, it's quick. There's no room for misunderstanding here. You don't need an education on the product. You don't have to know the science. I'm asking you, will you buy one, use it the way it's directed, and will you let me know yes or no? If they say no, let them off gently. Don't create a problem. Say, listen, JC, well, listen, Uncle JC, at least thanks for taking the time to listen. I fully understand. Listen, if you do think of anybody that might be willing to try it and give me some feedback in the next couple of weeks, if you'll send them to me, I'd really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Bye. And hang up and move on. There's a second way to do this without even calling them. And this happened when we were teaching a group of folks in Denmark. It was another company, actually, not BHIP, some folks who had asked us to work with them on a comp plan, and some other people had asked. In Denmark, the law is you are not allowed to pick up a phone and call someone at a private location, their home or work, and ask them to enter into a monetary transaction. They can call you, but you can't call them. And so we said, fine, then send a text. We said, well, how do people mostly do network marketing? Well, they do online marketing, and if people answer, then they can talk to them. So we said, send a text. The same thing happens via text. It takes 2 texts. Uncle JC just started a business, would like your help. It's really fast and simple. Please text me back to find out how. That's it. That's the first text. I started a business, need your help. It's really simple. Please text back to find out how. That's it. How to help. That's all. When they communicate back, you send the second text to follow up that basically has the same thing. I need 8 to 10 trial consumers to evaluate my product, give me feedback. I'd like you to buy it one time, use it for 30 days, give me the feedback. If you like it, I can get you a discount for life. If not, all I need is one-time feedback. It will help. Can I count on you? Boom. And so we'll send you the exact text. We have people with the text story. We've had examples of people who have literally, in as little as 15 minutes, moved 12 of their items. They just sent 15, 20 texts. Bam, 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 bam. People say, sure, how? They send the second text. People say, okay, not a problem, I'll buy one. We had one young girl with one leader in the company, a good friend of ours. She was a university student in Kentucky. She was going through exams and that kind of stuff, classes, part-time jobs. They sold a skincare item in a jar. The skincare item in the jar was about $60 or $65. In 10 days, she didn't sell. Via text, in 10 days, she moved 103 jars of product. In 10 days, she moved over $6,000 of product, and she sponsored 18 people. How did she sponsor 18 people? She's sitting there with other students who said, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just making money. What do you mean you're making money? Yeah, I've got this product that I have, and I just send people texts, and they send back that they want to buy it. And then they started saying, well, how does that work? She actually had students who she gave them the texts. They weren't even in the business. They just said, here, you try it. You send these texts, see what happens. Just send them to your hot market. She'd say, here, send them to people who would help you out if you asked to help. And we had one guy who, he moved 12 cases of an energy drink in one company. One of the guys he moved the cases to said, how does it work? What are you doing? And he said, well, let me send you some text. You send them out. In both cases, they had people sending texts and getting people wanting to buy it. They weren't even in the business. They didn't have anything to give to the people. The point is, whether it's via phone, in other words, why do we say enroll and go pro? I don't care if someone starts with a partner pack. I care that they do the action. Don't just call. If you have 20 items, don't just call 20 people. Text or call your entire hot market. Keep going. See if you can set a record. This girl, she was just doing, imagine if you don't have to study for exams this weekend and you guys just text every human being you can think of. See how many people say, sure, I'll try one. She moved 100 of them in 10 days. I don't care if you start a partner because you can do an upgrade pack to pro. What I care about is that you move at least an entire pro pack in 30 days. I prefer you move it in the first 24 to 48 hours. This is human nature. This is human behavior. This is how we interact. This is not only not hard, this is a natural process. And here's what happens. When someone completes this process in 24 to 48 hours, they have created the most important thing that they need for the rest of their career. A personal story of success. You can take a brand new person who has no experience whatsoever. Their hot market is a natural process. They go through this. In fact, let me turn this off for just a second. Everybody knows who I am now. Let me turn this on. You don't need my name, so you can see the whole thing. In this simple set of conversations, right here, start a business here, they can either via phone call or via text, they can move an entire pro pack. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys sometimes over this weekend, if you run this test, I wouldn't be surprised if you're moving, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50, unbelievable numbers of items just as a competition to see how fast you go. But even if they just move a pure pro pack worth of product, the reality is what they've just done is they've created a personal story. when you go to talk to people about the business and not sell them, but have a conversation, well, really, well, how's it working for you? It's amazing. I moved over $1,000, $1,200 of product. I didn't sell. I moved over $1,000, $1,200 in just a few minutes of effort. It's amazing. Just my family alone, they just took the stuff off my hands. They just ripped it out of my hands. It's amazing. You've got to check out this business. I think together we could do something special and be really successful. That's the hot market system. Now that's where I'm going to go ahead and stop today, because we're going to have you guys now actually go execute this over the next couple of days. Then we'll come back and I'll show you how it goes from here. I'm going to show you the actual detail of how you take it into the prospecting to create accelerated team growth. So with that said, there's the basic hot market system now initially. So why don't we bring it back? And Andras, why don't you come off, and JC, you guys come off, and we'll start asking some questions and see if you guys have any questions, and then we'll talk about the assignment that you need to go through these next few days, your first couple of days assignment to go to this next step. So Andras, did that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. Amazing. Incredible.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty simple. We're finding people who are 18 are having success, people who are 85 are having success, students are having success, business professionals are having success. Everybody, any age, any gender, any background, everybody can kill it.
Definitely.
What questions do you guys have? And then we'll give you what JC and I believe should be your activity effort in the next few days, and then we'll meet again for the next step. But do you have any other questions, or was it pretty clear?
I think that was crystal clear.
Okay. Then here's what we're going to do. JC has, and JC, as I told you, I'd updated it. So the minute we're done here, the minute we click stop broadcast, I'm going to send you the actual outline document, both of the phone call version as well as the text. Guys, here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you guys to start with your hot market, whether you do it this evening or tomorrow, but over this weekend, I'd like you to make at least, and make your hot market list as big as it can be. I mean, just go through your phone, literally. Go through your phone. Who would pick me up at 3 a.m.? This is a great experiment, because if you ever do break down at 3 a.m., it'd be good to know who you shouldn't call. So do this. What you do is make it as long as you can, and then let's do this. Make sure the first 10 call. Why? I just want you guys to try it. It is an interesting, if nothing else, it's an interesting experience you can share with others. But what I really want you to do is I want you to go through, generally, when you call, you'll usually get 7 or 8 out of 10 to say yes. And sometimes you may get 10. We had one person get 11. He moved 11 units of product after talking to 9 people, because he did what I did with JC. He did have the spouse or the friend, or he would sell a multiple stuff. Well, if you're going to try one, just think it'd be better if you tried 2. But whatever you want to do, just keep it simple. But call the first 10, because you'll find personally it's an interesting experience how you're almost worried about it at first, and the minute you have 1 or 2, it actually becomes incredibly fun. Here's your job. See if you can keep your part under 60 seconds. Say, you'll see the script, say it in less than 60 seconds, and see how fast they'll give you an answer. You'll find that in some cases you can get a yes in less than a minute, or in less than a minute and a half. What that means is you could literally call 15, 20 people an hour. But we'd like you to just try the first ones, just to have the experience. But then go into texting mode. Now, when you text, we find in many cases you may only get 1 out of 2. It's via text. But we've had some people get the same 70 to 80% say yes, 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 yes. We had one guy send 16 texts in a 15-minute test over a dinner. And by the end of dinner, he had 12 of them respond that they would buy the product from him. So he had 75% say yes, and he hadn't even talked to anybody. He just called them back just to complete it. And so what we'd like you to do is in the next 2 days, Saturday, Sunday, make as big a list as possible. Call the first few, even if it's just 5 or 6. Get a few calls, because you'll find it's a fun experience. It really is. Then go into the texting mode, and let's just keep up with JC. Keep us aware of what's going on during this process. And then what we'll do is we'll probably come back, Monday or JC, whenever you guys want to schedule it, and we will do the follow-up second half training. And what we'll do is we'll redraw this really quickly, but then we'll show you, based upon your success stories, what you do for the rest of your career. This you do one time, not once a week, not once a month, not once a year. This you do one time. You enroll and go pro and go for max hot market result one time. For the rest of your life, you tell that story the right way, And that's how you build huge teams, both locally and globally. And so we're going to show you that in the second half. So, JC, any final thoughts before we set these guys loose and then we begin the process of the deployment of this over there?
No, Curtis, come on. It was amazing stuff. You know, the result when you've got Andras saying it's crystal clear after that, and you know that's not $1 million stuff. That is multi-million-dollar stuff, because as young as these guys are, you know, when I first came into the industry so long ago, but guys like you wouldn't even return my call until I could put a few hundred people in a room. So to be getting this information this direct, it's fantastic. Now, I don't know if did I see your lovely partner in the background, or?
Yeah, actually had at one point gone poof.
Okay, but she doesn't want to say hi. I don't want to embarrass her or anything.
Oh well, no, not now. But or there's not there. But
great.
Absolutely.
Well, fantastic. So guys, if you have anything else, or Curtis, you want to add to it, but to me it was phenomenal.
Okay, great, gang. All right, Andras, you guys, the rest of you, you know your assignment. Right now, let's do this. Hey, JC, let's do this. We'll do it offline, but we're gonna run a contest with just amongst you guys. JC and I'll talk about it. We'll get back to you, because we believe that, you know, it'll be one of those. You know, understand it's a friendly competition, but here's the thing: we won't talk about where it ended up, but whoever does the most will have a prize for that. Whoever does the least when we start out the next one has to dance a 30-second Irish jig with all of us on camera that everybody else gets to watch. So just know that's how the second half of the training is going to start, with a 30-second Irish jig for the person who does the least. So just don't sleep much. Make sure you work hard, because that's okay, by the way. If you're a good Irish dancer, that's great. So anyway, sound like fun? There you go. All right, JC. All right, gang. Listen, guys, appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Let's go tear it up, and this will be the end of, for everybody watching, this will be the end of section 1 of the hot market training and deployment for BF Europe. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.
Excellent.
Talk to you.
Woo!